I always wanted to be rich. My parents were fucking middle class. I lived with my dad. He was poor. I lived on the couch in a 1-bedroom apartment. There was never enough food. I was wearing fucking Walmart and Goodwill clothes. And I worked from the time I was 14 years old. And, I realized nobody's coming to save me. And I realized that, money solves the majority of life's problems. It's not going to make you happy, but 95% of life's problems you can write a check for.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of A-List Conversations. I got a big guest on today. His name is Nick Perry. Nick Perry is the godfather of wholesaling nationwide, and he's done over 1,500 deals so far. He's got a big team in Arizona, and he is completely removed from the business. And so this guy is living it up in Cancun right now, and he's still making those dollars. So we're excited to have him on today. How you doing, Nick?
Hey, man, excited to be here. I appreciate it. Another day in paradise out here. But don't get it twisted. My team's in Texas.
Texas.
So it would be, Texans, they got that state pride, man. You can't mess it up. We're at Austin, Texas, but I live down here in Cancun, Mexico. So got a phenomenal team out there in our office in Austin that allows me to be able to be the true business owner and have that time freedom.
That's incredible, man. And he's also the founder of the Seven Figure Cartel. This is an education program where he teaches people how to get to his level. So if you want to stick around to hear more about that, just keep watching, okay? So Nick, I want to talk about wholesaling. Like, for someone that's just new, what is wholesaling? Can you give us a brief explanation of it?
Yeah, I'll give you a very brief explanation. So you got this iPhone right here. All right. I say, Julian comes to me and he says, "Hey, Nick, I'll buy your iPhone from you for $500. I'm like, I'm hurting. I'm like, all right, man, you could get this. You could take this iPhone for $500.
Yeah.
Then he turns around to his buddy and says, "Hey, man, I got an iPhone 15. I'll sell it to you for $800. Retail value on it is $1,200.
Yeah.
And your buddy's like, "That's a great deal for me." So before you even pay me my $500, your buddy gives you the $800, and you get to keep the difference. You get to keep the $300. So it's that simple example that I just gave you with a phone. Just apply that to a house, and that's what wholesaling is.
That is incredible, guys. And you don't need a real estate license to do this, right? Like, you can get started with very little to no money. Like, what are some of the benefits of doing this? Like,
well, when I started, that was one of the big draws is you didn't need money, you didn't need credit, and you didn't need a license or a degree. And I was like, well, fuck, I'm qualified then. Right?
That's awesome.
So that was a game changer for me because I always wanted to be, my own business owner. I wanted to strike out on my own. I couldn't imagine working for somebody the rest of my life. So wholesaling gave me that platform and that opportunity to go make a living for myself.
That's incredible. Yeah. And we're going to get into it. We're going to give people some practical advice. So if you were to get started today, what would you do again?
First thing would be hire a mentor to try to go at this business alone. Is gonna yield you a lot of mistakes and a lot of extra time and money and frustration. So, I was hard-headed in the beginning. I went and tried to watch all the YouTube videos, listen to all the podcasts, and put it all together myself.
Yeah.
And I failed miserably. It wasn't until I got a really good coach that just was like, stay focused, do these 3 steps, come back to me when you're done. And I followed the blueprint, and that's when I really started to excel. So first thing would be to get a mentor. Second would be to, learn the skill of marketing, because we're not in the real estate game. Mm-hmm. We're in the marketing and sales business.
Yeah.
So if you can generate leads, you can hire and train good salespeople or be a good salesperson on your own, you're going to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get a lot more complicated than that. So I think a lot of people overcomplicate this business in their mind. It's marketing and sales. It's not. We're not in real estate.
That's incredible. Okay, yeah. So I know the first part of this business is marketing. So we got to get motivated sellers. What is a way to get this motivated sellers? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way is going to be online, right? Pay per lead or pay per click advertising are going to be your highest intent and best quality leads,
Mm-hmm.
right? So pay
Yeah.
per click, for you guys that aren't familiar, it's Google Ads, right? Or come here, girl. Sorry, my dog's choking.
Okay. Okay.
I got a little Frenchie.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
we're doing the podcast right now.
Hey, she's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, pay per click advertising or pay per lead advertising. If you don't want to learn how to do pay per click on your own, you can actually buy leads from somebody that already does it very well, and they resell the leads.
Yeah.
Those are going to be your best quality leads. That's going to be your fastest way to get your first deal. Don't mess around with cold calling, bandit signs, direct mail. There's a lot of ways out there to do it, but I've got the brain damage and the scars in my bank account to prove what works.
That's amazing. Alrighty. So we buy some of these paper leads, right? And we got a lead come in. How do we contact the owner, and what should we say?
Just reach out and have a conversation. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. They're going to open up to you. Hey, this is Julian. I just got your request for a cash offer on our website. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Let them go ahead and spill what they've got going on. That one question right there will open up a lot of conversation for you. So that's my suggestion. For newbies that are watching this, like, you're going to need to learn some basic. Get a script that you can follow, because you need to collect a lot of different information on these calls. You need to know about the property condition. You need to know about the owner's timeline, their motivation. And then on top of that, you need to know how to properly comp the property using Zillow or PropStream, so that way you can make an accurate offer. Because you could have the best marketing and the best salesmanship out there, but if you can't accurately make offers, none of that matters. So you can do those three things, you're in business.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, that's a really great tip on what to say. Let's get into the next part of this process, which is kind of doing a little bit of the comping. What, just briefly, how does that look like? Like, kind of like the overarching rules of it. That someone should look into it.
Look, the whole industry trains wrong. Not the whole industry, but the majority of them will tell you value a property 70% minus repairs, minus your fee, and that's what you offer. That method right there is a broken method. They're going to hear that from all the gurus out there.
Yeah.
The way that you know what to offer on a property is based on supply and demand. How hot is this market?
Yeah.
Right? And the way you can tell how hot a market is look at how many houses are for sale in that area, and then how many houses are pending.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you everything you need to know. If you've got 100 houses for sale and only 2 of them are going pending, you know that people aren't really buying houses there.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if you got 100 houses and 50 of them are pending, that's pretty strong. It's showing you that half of the houses are going pending. That's a strong market.
Yeah.
So we do everything based on supply and demand. That tells us how much we can offer and if we're even going to touch it. If it's not a market that things are moving in, we don't even take it on.
Yeah. So I recently heard about this, and I think it's very interesting. So basically, you get the number. Let's say it's 30 houses sold. On the market total, but then there's 15 that are on the actively right now. So there's 15 that are pending or contingent or whatever. So we divide the number. What is it? 15 divided by 15, right? To find out what the number is.
We just want to know the percentage. We just want to know the percentage of properties that are going pending.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And here's the thing is, I haven't comped a property in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So, if like this is a newbie podcast, this shit's you guys are about to be drinking out of a fire hose on here, because I've got a team that comps properties. I don't go to the office. Like, I have to get my COO and the rest of my team on here to be even able to go into the nitty gritty of the day-to-day operation. I don't even know how to log into DocuSign. I'm serious. I don't have the password in there. I don't mess around, in our systems. I don't get in our CRM. I manage our entire business through a spreadsheet. There's a few numbers that are important in a wholesaling business, and I run a multi-million-dollar business based on a few numbers, and that's it.
Okay, that's amazing. So let's say they have figured out how to comp, right? Obviously, you got to offer, and this offer has to be able to make you money. What are the different exit strategies that you're using in your business?
Great question, because it's changed. The game has changed in 2024.
Yeah.
If you're just relying on wholesale, it's going to be a very difficult battle. So you need to learn novations on top of wholesale. Wholesale and novations are going to be what is going to comprise the majority of your business. Mm-hmm. Now, us internally, we flip property, we buy rentals on top of wholesale and novation. But if you're just getting started, learn how to do wholesale and learn how to do novation at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, so we already explained what wholesale was. What is a novation for someone that doesn't know and understand?
Novation, what it means is that you are able to, it's very similar to wholesale. You're able to contract the property, but instead of selling it to a fix and flipper, like for a quick sale, you can put the property on the MLS and accept a conventional offer, which they take 30 days to close. But guess what? You're going to be able to get full retail value for that property because a homeowner and a family is going to move into that property. Mm. So rather than you selling the property for 80 cents on the dollar, you can sell it for the full value, 100 cents on the dollar.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so typically these properties that are novation, qualified, these properties don't have a lot of rehabs, right? That need to be done.
No, I mean, some do, but they don't have to be pretty houses. A lot of people get that twisted.
Okay.
It's got to be, a brand new house or something. No, we pick up properties in as-is condition all the time and list them on the MLS. Mm-hmm. Okay. We just account for the amount of, what that market's going to pay for an as-is property in that condition.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not going to get FHA because they have to pass certain inspections and they're stringent inspections, but you can take, other types of loans. Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, cool. So different exit strategies and then I want to touch on a little bit about the contracts. I know that a lot of people don't have the right contracts, and then this makes things a little bit difficult for them if they encounter a problem.
Here's the thing. If you guys don't have an ironclad contract, you're just getting a contract off of wherever you found it on the internet. Mm-hmm. A lawyer is going to pick that apart, and as soon as a seller wants to back out of a deal, you're screwed. Yeah. You've got no legal protection. Additionally, you could get yourself sued, right? Yeah. So you need to make sure that whoever you're getting a contract from, we've got contracts, that I hate using the word bulletproof, but, in the last 11 years that I've been doing this business, over 1,500 deals, nobody's ever won a lawsuit against me. So that tells you anything right there.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like the contracts are really, really tight, really good.
So it's important, especially as you get into this. That's the last thing you want to think about is, oh man, could I get in trouble? Could I get sued? Or will I lose this deal because my contract's not strong enough? You don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. So incredible. So let's say, we got a lead. We talked to them. We found the right offer to give them. They accepted. Let's talk about how to deliver the offer. I know you've done this a little, quite a bit. So how is the best way to deliver the offer? So that the person that you're talking to wants to take it, because usually this is a lower offer, than what they're expecting.
Well, again, I'm not on the phones anymore. I haven't been on the phones in 6 years, but I can tell you everything we do is over the phone, right? Mm-hmm. So a couple of best practices when you're closing over the phone is you never send an agreement to a seller without them being on the phone and in front of their email. So that's the fastest way to get ghosted. If you just say, okay, yeah, I'll send you the contract and put the ball in their court. Now, what are they going to do when they see that? They're going to hesitate. They're going to think about it. They're going to shop your offer to 10 different other companies, and you're never going to get them back on the phone again.
Yeah.
The way that you close these deals is you get a verbal agreement from the seller up front. You get a range. You say, hey, listen, say you want to offer $150,000 for the property.
Yeah.
You tell the seller, hey, based on the property condition, everything that's going on in the market, it looks like we're going to be between probably 132 to like 145. Your max offer is 150, but so you hit them 132 to 145. Based on all that, if I'm able to get that approved, is that something you're ready to move forward with? And once you get that, you're either going to get a yes or a no. You get a no, then you're going back into the objection handling, which is a whole nother topic. Once you do get the thumbs up to that offer range, all right, great. Let me go ahead and make sure we can do that. I'm going to go to work right now to see if we can make that happen. Are you available in the next 15, 20 minutes for me to give you a call back? Or you can even put them on hold and just have them hold on the phone.
Yeah.
That's your time when you're going to double check your comps, type up your DocuSign. Once they're back on the line with you, hey, great news. We're able to actually get it approved at the higher end of that range. We're able to get it at 145, that highest number. So go ahead and open up your email for me. They should be sending something over. Now you get them to open up their email with the DocuSign, and you go ahead and just start walking through the DocuSign process, and that's it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Right. If they've got some objections, they're going to come up right then and there.
Yep.
You're going to deal with the objections while you're on the phone, while they're in front of the actual contract.
Yep, that's incredible. And let me ask you a little bit about, as you gather into details, does your team or did you also do underwriting on the spot, like during the conversation, or do you have them call back, and after you've done your underwriting? What kind of method?
A little bit of both. I mean, our team's so good that they're able to do this at the same time. They can actively listen to a seller and be evaluating the property and have a pretty good idea on what we need to offer on that initial phone call while they're on the phone with the seller. Now, once they get off the phone, they're going to get a little bit more dialed in with their comps, because that's the last thing you want is to lock up a property at the wrong price and then have to either drop that contract after you shopped it out to all your buyers, because it's a huge waste of time, energy, and money. Nobody's getting paid.
Yeah.
So, and you're stringing the seller along. So you want to make sure that you're rock solid on your comps. So if you're just starting off, get a rough ballpark while you're on the phone with them, but then after you get off the phone, take however long you need to get that number.
Okay, that makes sense. One thing that I see differ from different people in approaches is that some people have the approach of, they're the one giving the offer, and then some people have the one that, let me talk to my underwriting team, I'm just kind of the messenger kind of thing. What do you think is, what do you see best, being done in this landscape?
I mean, we always defer power in our company, right? It's hey, let us get approval from our manager. You never want to be the decision maker when you're on the phone, because it puts you head to head with the seller if you are.
Yeah.
It's always you and the seller versus your manager or versus whoever. So we always defer power.
Yep.
Even on our dispositions. So that's RJ Bates, a good friend of mine. Him and I will go back and forth on that.
Yeah.
He's got a different philosophy, but it's whatever works for you.
Yeah, that sounds like it's a preference. That's really cool. So you got this person under contract. Then, what are some important steps to take after that? Do you go directly to a title company, or do you go, how do you find do you go finding a buyer? If so, how do you do that?
Yeah, once you got the property locked up, you need to get photos and you need to get access. So
Mm-hmm.
once you got photos and access, you can get photos through, multiple different places. One, you can have the seller take photos. Usually they're going to be shit photos.
Yeah.
So don't always highly recommend that. I would use a service like NVMS, Home Jab. There's multiple other services that will go out and take photos for you. We use NVMS, or we'll get a local photographer on Thumbtack or somewhere to go out and just take photos for us. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how you get photos. And then once you got photos and you figure out when you can access the property, then you're going to start sending that property out to buyers if it's going to be a wholesale deal. So you can utilize tools like Investor Lift. You can push properties out on different Facebook groups. You can blast out to the realtors in the area, and those are some of the popular ways that we utilize in house.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're trying to get access to the property, how do you usually go about that? Do you do a lockbox, or do you guys have like the seller, go meet every single buyer that you're sending through, or?
Depends on the situation. We prefer it to be vacant and on a lockbox and
Mm,
not have to do any of that. But if you got to have the people, if it's owner occupied and the people live there and they don't trust, strangers coming into their house, or they got dogs, like this is the real world shit you have to navigate and deal with every day.
yeah.
So you're going to need to, handle each situation differently.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
And alrighty. So yeah. So let's say you start doing some dispoing over here. You put it on an industrial lift or something, and you maybe talking to these people. What are some right ways to kind of anchor the conversation or frame the conversation with a potential buyer, so that you can get your price, or you can get your the deal done.
FOMO. Hey, I got a lot of people that are reaching out to me on this property, but I was thinking about you. I need to let me know right away if you want to take this thing. Just let you know. So you always want to pretend like you're the hottest chick at the club, right?
Mm,
Yeah, your deal is the best deal, regardless of whether you know it or if it is or not. You're um, building interest with people. So, what not to do? Don't send out deals via text blast. The way to build urgency and build rapport and get your deal sold to buyers is on the phone, over the phone, belly to belly. You
mm-hmm.
want to, get a fix and flipper or an investor on the phone and, um, hype that shit up. Don't
Yeah.
don't just be, boring about it. You got to make them excited about the deal. So that's number one. Number two is, you have to stress the urgency on it. Hey, listen, I got, a lot of interest on this deal. In addition, basically, uh, today is when I need to know. I know you have shit going on. I know you got to take your daughter to soccer practice. You're not going there today. You're fucking driving to this house, because if you want to pay for all of her soccer gear for the rest of the year, you're going to go take this deal right now. Like, that's the kind of intensity, and you got to have confidence when you're talking to these buyers.
Yeah.
Dispo is a little bit different than acquisitions. Acquisitions is more of a business to consumer. You got to be more empathetic. With Dispo, you're just, wheeling and dealing. Let's get to the fucking point. You're going to buy this shit or you're not going to buy it. What the fuck is going on? Like, you're just very matter of fact, very frank. Like, Dispo is my favorite. When I was on
Oh, yeah.
Dispo, when I was on Dispo back in the day, that was, some of the most fun I ever had. It was just,
That's amazing. Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
people don't like Dispo that much, but that is really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause you can be no bullshit on Dispo.
Uh-huh.
You just get to be yourself, be very matter of fact. You're talking to other entrepreneurs, other business owners. They get it. You're playing a game with them. They're trying to get the property from as low as possible from you. You're trying to sell it for as high as possible. It's a pretty fun job.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love it. You open up a perspective that's differently than other people, so that's great. Awesome. So once you have that buyer, you have them take action, urgently. You have to sign, an assignment contract. What do you do with title companies? Because some title companies don't know how to do a wholesale assignments, or even some realtors don't even know how to do novations. So what's kind of the process of kind of getting that?
Dude, I've been doing this for a long time, so I've got investor-friendly title companies in all 50 states.
Hmm.
So that's just from going through all of the trials and tribulations.
Yeah,
Painstakingly, made that list.
yeah. And I'm assuming that list is available to people in the Seven Figure Cartel.
Correct.
Okay, it's good to know,
Yeah, everything
guys.
we're talking about, we're going over things very surface level.
Hmm.
Everything we're talking about is broken down into great detail, and you've got all the tools and resources, at your fingertips to go out and do this business. Basically, if you can't wholesale at a high level after going through all this, then it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah, there's something wrong with not with the education, but with you as a person.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, cool. So I wanted to touch on a little bit, going back to the paper lead. You mentioned that that's the fastest way to get started. Those are the highest intent leads. What kind of budget should someone look to spend to get their first deal?
I mean, I tell everybody have at least $3,000 to $5,000 a month to start off,
Hmm.
right? And that's for the 90 days. So you need to have, you know, ideally 15, 20 grand set aside to put into marketing.
Yeah,
That's going to account for, you know, the first 3 months of your leads. Yeah, you should have properties under contract, but you're going to make mistakes in the beginning. You're going to fumble deals. So, that is what I'd recommend to anybody that is just getting going. Save up 15, 20 grand, dump that into marketing over 3 months, and as long as you're putting your best foot forward, you'll have some deals.
okay, that's great. Sweet. So you know there is obviously some things happen whenever you have a deal that you work in. Usually, maybe the buyers go out there, they see, there's something wrong, with the property that wasn't discussed by the seller. These are some tough conversations that people have to have. Sometimes you have to go back to retrade. What are some ways to have those conversations in order to come out with the deal, come out on top and get the deal secured?
Comps, you got to have the right data, right?
Yeah,
So when you're talking to buyers, again, it's not an emotional conversation.
yeah,
You're arguing facts, and
yeah.
whose facts are correct is who's going to win that conversation. So, if you're going to a buyer and you're arguing on comps, or you could be talking to a seller and you could be talking about comps or repairs. A lot of times, repairs come up after you contract the property that you weren't aware of, and you got to put a real dollar figure to that and get down to brass tacks with the seller and say, hey, listen, based on X, Y, and Z, we're going to be, great news is we're still closing, but problem is we found X, Y, and Z, which here you go. I sent you, a breakdown of what all that stuff costs. We're going to be at this price now. So,
Mhm.
you just got to be honest. Honesty and having strong data to back you up into those conversations is what's going to make those conversations go your way.
Yeah, yeah, and I think something important to know is how to build rapport, between sellers and buyers, and everybody else involved in the transaction. What are some ways that you guys, that you build rapport with people, in order to, to be able to get the deal done? And when you have hard conversations, it's not so much that you're kind of like attacking them or something, but like, you guys have a working relationship, and it's more of like, how can we figure this out kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, rapport should be built from the initial conversation all the way through. And rapport is not talking about the weather or sports.
Hmm.
Rapport is built by showing that you care,
Mm.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
And you got to honestly give a shit. You're talking, especially with sellers. you're talking to them about a major decision in their life. A lot of times, these people, this is going to be one of the only houses they ever sell, and they're going through difficult situations. So you need to show you care. You need to make sure that they feel comfortable through the entire process, that you've answered all of their questions, that you're, being inquisitive about all the nuances that, that might be going on in their head, and helping them through the entire process. They might need help with moving. They might need help with a realtor. Maybe they're, trying to move closer to family. Well, what's that look like? Ask open-ended questions. Be genuinely curious. Don't ask questions just for the sake of it. But if you show people that you care, that's how you build rapport.
I love that. That's a great perspective, mindset to have. So that's great. And then once you have a buyer and a seller, you guys have it in the title company. It's just waiting for the closing table, right? You guys are just waiting for the time clock. And what kind of what's the best practice for when it comes to like earnest money, or like kind of gauging how serious the buyer is?
Well, I mean, the deal's not assigned until they put their deposit down on the property. They could sign an assignment contract. It's just a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Until they put their money where their mouth is, the deal's still available. So,
Okay.
they got to fucking put EMD down. That's regardless. Second off, the deal is not just sitting back and waiting for closing.
Yeah.
Transactions are where deals can go sideways on you.
Yeah.
Between the title work, between sellers getting cold feet, between buyers getting cold feet, delays due to unforeseen circumstances. That's your job, is to anticipate all of that stuff. Why is the buyer going to try to screw me right now? Why is the seller going to try to back out of this deal? What delays could possibly happen to derail this closing? And it's your job to anticipate all those things and stay ahead of it. Keep the deal on track and get money in the bank. That is all that matters, right? Don't be a firefighter and just sit back and wait for a deal to close, or you're going to have deals blow up in your face nonstop.
Yep.
So even in the final leg of the relay race, which is transactions, you still need to be communicating with all parties, making sure that everything is lining up on track for an early or on time closing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that real estate is a big part of it, is just getting people to do their job, right? So, for example,
babysitting, what it is.
What was that?
Adult babysitter. You're an adult babysitter.
Yeah.
Babysitting adults.
Yeah.
Especially in transactions.
Yeah. I mean, the title company may take a long time. The buyer may have to get out there. All of these things, and always, how do you push, very firmly without kind of breaking the rapport again and being, considered or an asshole or something.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be tactful about the communication that you have with all parties, but they need to understand from the initial conversation who the boss is, right? A lot of that starts from the initial conversation. Is you got to establish expectations on what you expect from each party, right? So for the sellers, we have a script that goes over what we expect, and how this process is going to go. Same thing for the buyers, same thing for the title companies. Because if you give anybody an inch in this business, they will take a mile from you. And by a mile, I mean money out of your bank account and food out of your family's mouth.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, 100%. Great. Is there? I know that you have a brand, which is different than most wholesalers. you have a want to sell now, which is, this is, you're rated, by the Better Business Bureau. You probably have some testimonials, some Google reviews. Is that important, building up that kind of brand, for that?
We have sellers lay down to us all the time just because we have great reviews. They don't even question what we say because our reviews are and our brand is so strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
look at us versus another company and they're like, yeah, we're going with you. It's already, the decision's already made in our mind.
Yeah. So having that in mind, what are some mindset, like that the person that's doing wholesaling, that's starting, should have in order to be able to develop into, having kind of a brand like yourself?
Mindset, you just got to have that dog in you, right? The days are going to get tough. Deals are going to go sideways. Shit's going to be fucked up half the time. And that's why it's so important to have a good mentor and a good coach so they can keep your path as straight as possible. Because you guys understand, like, the path to success is not straight. Most people think it's like this. It's not. Success is like... then eventually you get there, right? So you got to have the mindset of, I'm going to continue to fail forward until I'm not fucking failing no more. Right? And you'll fail less if you have a good mentor and a good coach. A lot less. You cut your learning curve significantly.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, it's just again, you got to have that tenacity and have that dog mentality to be able to withstand. It's not an easy business. It's very simple, but it's not easy. You got to understand that. And above and beyond that, I'm a high school dropout. It's not like you got to be that smart, to be successful in this business. I stopped going to school in 10th grade, and but I've never stopped personally developing. So you got to have that growth mentality. How am I going to continue to improve every day? And even outside of the business, are you progressing forward in your, personal development and your mindset and your spirituality and your fitness with your family and your relationships? Like, you got to be a full person. Yeah. Because if you're having problems at home, it's going to mess you up in business and vice versa.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that for sure. When it comes to, getting the deals done, do you ask the sellers to give you testimonials and reviews? Is that part of your process?
Absolutely. Try to get everybody to give you a review. Try to get the buyer to give you a review, the title company to give you a review, the seller to give you a review. If you're working with contractors, get them to give you your reviews. All of that adds up. And if you do that on every transaction, before you know, you're going to have a ton of beautiful reviews that are going to speak volumes of your business, and people read them. So make sure you guys do a good job building that brand. Yeah, it's going to serve you very well. It's an upfront investment. You're not going to see the fruits of that labor for probably a year or 2 years, but it will be well worth it. Yeah,
totally, for sure. Great. So let me ask you a little bit about, let's say this person, has gotten their first deal, made their first 10K and is looking to do some more deals. At what point should someone reinvest back in the business into a team member?
Well, you should always reinvest back into your company, but in terms of making that first hire, it's going to come when you have enough lead flow to where you're now unable to sustain it yourself. So You're going to get to a point where you've got so many leads and you're starting to slack on your follow-up. New leads are coming in. Now you've got deals and you're having to do dispo and transactions, and there's not enough hours in the day. That's the time when you're going to bring in somebody else.
Gotcha. When it comes to, that threshold, what do you say is usually the limit? I guess, like, how much marketing dollars are you spending a month that one person can handle usually? And up to, what more than that is like when you actually have to bring in a hire, a team member, a
Marketing
first hire.
dollars that one person can handle between $10,000 to $15,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Yeah. All right. That sounds really interesting. So let me ask you a little bit about the difference between nationwide wholesaling and more localized wholesaling. What made you jump into nationwide?
Well, I started off my career doing local in Austin and San Antonio, and then the problem was that the cost per lead when I was doing local marketing was extremely high, and
Yeah.
so I changed my Google Ads just messing around one day to nationwide, and my cost per lead dropped significantly. I'm talking I was paying $250 for a lead to I went down to paying like $10 for a lead.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, yeah, but I had no idea. I was like, well, how am I going to monetize these leads in all these different states? And what about the title companies? What about getting the buyers? What about like all the things that are in your mind if you're thinking about going local versus nationwide?
Yeah.
And I had all my mentors, all my peers were like, no, just stick to your own backyard. This is a suicide mission. Don't do this nationwide stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself that I can figure this out, which is another big mindset thing is you always got to bet on yourself and don't be scared to make bold moves in business.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and commit to mastery on this. And I started contracting deals in different parts of the country and scrambling to get them sold.
Mm-hmm.
And, I did one deal and then I did another one. And then before you know it, I just had a little bit of a system and process for how things were supposed to be. And then after, a couple of years, it was a well-oiled machine. And my cost of marketing was significantly less than my competitors. And I was able to do significantly more volume.
Mm. Okay.
So my margins were better. We do more deals. Additionally, we're able to do this, without seeing the houses, which is a much more efficient way to run this company. It's an inside sales job. It's not an outside sales job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can run it like an outside sales organization, but in my opinion, it's not as efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that sounds incredible. I think so. I met some people that have, wholesale businesses that do it in their backyard and they're successful. They also have a brand, what separates you from the rest is that you are completely nationwide, which allows you to be in Punta Cana right now and have a team that's doing this, and they're not even being going to a seller appointment. So what you pioneered this, so like what kind of got you to get to this level? Like did you see it before it happened, or how'd you get the inspiration to do it?
I always wanted to be rich. My parents were fucking middle class. I lived with my dad. He was poor. I lived on the couch in a one-bedroom apartment. There was never enough food. I was wearing fucking Walmart and Goodwill clothes. And I worked from the time I was 14 years old. And, I realized nobody's coming to save me. And I realized that, money solves the majority of life's problems. It's not going to make you happy, but 95% of life's problems you can write a check for. So
Yeah.
From an early age, I realized that I want to solve my problems by getting rich, and that was always the driving force for me. It's like I'm not gonna live through this pain that I dealt with growing up, not having money. It used to piss me off, having to look at the price tag for things and not being able to do what I want when I want as long as I want. I've always kind of had a rebellious spirit that I want to have that freedom to make my own rules, and so that was the driving force for what propelled me to where I am now. Was that quest for freedom.
Yeah, that's an incredible journey. And being at the top, is it worth it? Is it worth the effort? Like, You know,
Hell yeah.
looking back.
Hell yeah, it's worth the effort. Yeah, I'm just getting warmed up, but hell yeah, I would never. If you guys are out there and you're on your journey right now, fuck yeah, it's worth it. Um, you know, life feels a lot better when you got, you don't have to worry about money. I got a
Yeah.
baby coming. I've got, all kinds of big, responsibilities. I live an amazing life, and money is a huge stressor in most people's life. You know,
Yeah.
and when it's not a stressor, you can focus on a lot of other things: your family, your fitness, um, you know, things that I got very high quality problems now. Right?
Hmm.
It's do I want to go to St. Martin this weekend or should I go to Cozumel?
Yeah.
Do I want to move from here in 6 months and maybe go get a mansion in Arizona, or should I stay here and get a better place here?
Yeah.
These are the kind of decisions you get to make. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, when am I gonna be able to afford my bills this month?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fucking worth it. You
Yeah.
can help a lot of other people too. I'm not
Hell yeah.
materialistic or selfish, but I can help my family. I can provide a nice life for the people around me. I can give back to causes that are meaningful to me. If you don't have money and you accept that and you're complacent not having money, how fucking selfish is that? You're gonna let the people around you suffer because you're complacent, just scraping along and being broke, busted, and disgusted. That's no way to live. You got a duty and an obligation to yourself and to your family and to the people around you and to this world to not waste your life and go out there and be successful and be all you can be.
Yeah. You said it, bro. Hell yeah. Absolutely. That's awesome. I want to. So you mentioned that. Did you have a like? I guess how does someone become a good mentee? Like, what are some of the key things besides having the money? What are just some of the things that you can do to be able to like be super qualified in order for have someone who has who wants to give their attention to you to pour to develop you as a as a person.
Um, be ready, just be coachable, right? My top students, they do
Hmm.
what I tell them to do without question. If I told them, hey, I need you to dig a hole right now and then fill it back in, they would do it. No questions asked.
Yeah.
That's, I would never tell them to do that, right? But that's why they're successful is they, just get after it. I'll tell them, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. They won't even talk to me for 2 weeks, and then as soon as they got all these projects I told them to get done, hey boss, I got it all done. Things are going great right now. I've got this going, this going. Okay, awesome. Now here's what I need you to do. So they're action takers. You got to be a serious action taker, and trust your coach, and don't be a little bitch.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sweet. So we got that locked down. So I want to talk about a little bit about your mentees. If we can get some stories, just highlighted here, so someone can feel, like they are, they're in their shoes. Could be.
Yeah, I've got tons of testimonials. You guys can check them out on sevenfigurecartel.com. You can also check them out on my Instagram. But a couple that come to mind, especially because we're talking to a lot of newer investors here,
Yeah.
is we had one guy. His name's David. He came in, 6 months ago, not knowing what a wholesale deal even was.
Yeah.
Didn't know, never even heard the term novation before. Just knew that he wanted to do this business. He was burnt out selling insurance, and within I think it was 3 weeks, he had his first deal. Mind
wow.
you, it took me 11 months to get my first deal. So
Wow.
that's the power of coaching. He got
Yeah.
his first deal within 3 weeks. Another 3 weeks after that, he had 6 contracts. And by the 8th week of his mentorship, he had his first $100,000 a month. Right?
What?
then he's been doing 6-figure months between anywhere from $80,000 to $200,000 a month.
Wow, that is incredible.
Right.
What? Yeah. What separates him from the rest? I mean,
Um, what I just told you, the burning desire, the coachability, the willing to, do what we tell him to do. He stays close to the fire. He's on every single one of our group coaching calls. He's making sure that he's implementing everything to the best of his ability. He's putting in the hours, putting in the work, um, and that's really it. And nothing that is like. Pre-qualifier for why he's successful over anybody else. It's not that he's smart, but he's not smarter than probably anybody listening to this, and he's got just a hunger like I've never seen. So
that's
it's all
incredible.
about that internal drive, really.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. So yeah, that is incredible. So let me ask you a little bit more. Do you have any resources that the beginners could check out? Maybe do you have like any YouTube videos or any I guess free opt-in kind of things where someone can look into, kind of some resources?
Absolutely, yeah. Go to the link in my bio, or just go to sevenfigurecartel.com. First of all, follow me on Instagram because I'm always dropping game on there, free game. You guys can reach out to me on there too, message me. I always like to talk with people. And then in addition, we've got a free call. So if you want to talk shop with my team, figure out, is this a good step for you? We don't charge you for that. You can jump on a call with my team on sevenfigurecartel.com. And then I've done a ton of YouTube videos and podcasts. You can find me. Just Google Nick Perry Real Estate, and you'll find a ton of resources. But fastest way to get plugged in would just be go to sevenfigurecartel.com and then book a call with my team.
Sweet, awesome. All right. So now that we covered, this section of beginner, wholesale content here, I want to talk about a little bit more about the more advanced things that you're doing, which is obviously you're fixing and flipping and you're buying rentals. So could you give us a little bit of the breakdown of, why you're doing, where you're going and what are you doing,
Yeah, I mean, fix and flips, we do those because we want to maximize the profit in a deal. So if it's a home run deal, we would rather, take it down ourselves and see the project all the way through and capture all the spread.
Yeah.
So, would you rather make a $20K assignment or would you rather make, an $80,000 to $100,000 flip? Right.
Yeah.
So we make those decisions on that.
Yeah.
And then rentals, when the music stops and you guys are done wholesaling, you're not going to have anything to fucking show for it unless you're buying rentals and taking down properties. So that's how you're actually going to build worth, like net worth.
Yeah.
You talk to all the old dudes in this business and you ask them what their number one regret is, I didn't buy more properties.
Yeah.
And buy and hold more properties. That's your retirement right there. That's a better retirement than any 401k that or Roth or any retirement you're going to get is buy rentals, let them appreciate, let the tenants pay down the rent. Additionally, they're going to save you a shitload of money that you'd have to pay to the IRS. So, buy good properties in good areas would be my suggestion. Don't buy junk properties in the hood. That's just my model. I like to buy good houses, brick on slab houses in good school districts and appreciating markets that I can hold forever. These are properties that I'm going to keep probably until I'm an old man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great tip there. Also, why is it important to buy rentals at some point? Like, how does that make your tax liability less?
You can depreciate a significant portion of it, which saves you money on taxes. If you're either going to pay money, like when you get to a certain point, you can't write anything off anymore in your taxes. And And additionally, you don't want to write everything off in your taxes because then you're not going to be bankable. So you want to pay some taxes, but you also want to buy rentals because it's going to, one, keep you bankable, and that money that you would have had to pay to the IRS, you can just put it into a rental property, and it just sits in there, and you're not going to get taxed on it.
Right.
And so would you rather own a house, or would you rather pay that money to the IRS?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you can do a 1031, right? Like
when you sell it, you can just put it into another property and defer the taxes down the road.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's with the use of cost segregation studies, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into the weeds now, but remember, the single-family houses are self-liquidating debt. So as long as you buy them right, they're going to cash flow, beyond your maintenance costs and your vacancy and your property management. You're still going to be able to cash flow. And then additionally, that mortgage is getting paid down. So just think about every time you buy a property, it's basically like you're just opening up another checking account. And the checking account gets bigger and bigger and bigger every single month, and you don't have to put any more money into it. How fucking sweet is that?
That's sweet. Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. Great, man. And I guess one last question is, when you were building or growing up, how did you balance, your work life with either, wife or girlfriend or family or whatever else was important to you? How'd you do that?
I didn't. I just fucking I didn't
good.
give it all 110%.
Good answer.
And in the beginning, I fucking worked my ass off. I worked, 90, 100 hours a week. I had my full-time job. I was an inside sales rep at Indeed, and then I had my real estate business. And so between my 9-to-5 job and then coming home in the evenings and working on real estate, and then every fucking Saturday and Sunday working on real estate, like I just worked all the time for those first 2 or 3 years. And that's what you have to do in the beginning. But I mean, I still partied. I still, had girlfriends. So don't think like you have to become like a monk, but you better handle business. And in the beginning, you're going to have a lot of fucking work to do, especially when it's just you and you're learning everything. You're going to be putting the hours in.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. So don't try to balance anything. I'll leave that shit to the ballerinas.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So do you have any parting words for the audience members?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I can give you guys is just tenacity, work ethic, common sense. There's nothing I'm doing that's that special. It's not like I got some hidden talent. I'm a broke. I started off, broke, living in the back of my car. I was homeless when I was 18, and then built myself up from there. I was a high school dropout, so you got no excuse why you can't go out there and make your dreams come true. It's just comes down to having that spirit to not be a quitter. 95% of the people out there that are listening to this are going to quit, and they're going to give up, and they're going to be doing something else in the next couple of years. Don't be one of those 95%. You better be that 5%, and we'll see you at the top.
Let's go. This is great having you, Nick. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.